laundry sitting over in the corner probably on that first attempt. But here I am. I'm finally live. So we'll see how this goes. I was also trying to have my laptop open so that I could see any comments or questions that folks have. Let's see if I can still do that. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I hope that people will jump back on because I saw that there were two people waiting and all that. Um, so who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I can see that over there. So I'll be able to see any comments or chats if you all have them and all. But I'm a little concerned that I didn't have anything set up right on that first attempt at live. I don't know if anybody, oh, there's one person watching me. Look at that. You know what? And that might even be myself with my YouTube open on my PC at the same time. So who knows? But anyway, I am on now, and here we go. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, I am. Let's see. Sorry, it's my first time doing this little. Sorry, there's a cat in the picture. This cat. This is a new cat. You know, it's been years since I've had a cat, and my other cats I've always had have been calm, polite little cats. They don't do anything. This one, she's cracked out half the time and all. She is constantly onto messing with something and all. But anyway, hopefully she'll stay a little bit out of the frame here, so we'll see. Anyway, so cruising and all. I thought I'd just sit down and have a little chit chat about my cruise plans for the rest of the year, some tentative plans for next year, and all. We'll just talk about whatever little cruise thing, travel thing that pops into my little head, or any questions or comments that pop up in the live chat. We'll go from there. But anyway, so I did do some lives. Last time that I was on a cruise in Alaska back in May, and I've done I think some Facebook Live once or twice since then. Maybe I don't remember for sure, but um, I am going back to Alaska and all, which is probably not news because I'm pretty sure I did cover that in one of my Alaska lives. But the countdown is on for that trip. So I think officially I fly back to Anchorage on the 27th. So what is that? 20, 24, 23 days away now. So that's super exciting. And I get to see not one, but two of my people that I love when I get up there and all. So of course my friend V lives there all the time, but our friend V's coming up for a few days. Unfortunately, it did not work out for her to be able to come on this cruise, and we are super bummed that she doesn't get to come. But that's okay. We'll plan something else fabulous where all three of us can make it and all that. But um, so I'll be there a few days prior to the cruise starting. The cruise actually heads out on November 30th and all. I'm trying a completely new cruise line to me. It's Holland America this round, and I'm looking forward to it. And this particular cruise, it's a very similar itinerary to the one I did with Princess, with a couple of exceptions. This one will be going to Skagway instead of Icy Strait Point. And this one will also actually be able to go the inside passage, which I thought that my Princess Cruise was going to do, but it actually didn't because of the size of the ship. So the size of the ship does matter as to whether or not you can actually cruise the inside passage. So it should be a go this round. So I'm looking forward to that. One thing that I missed out on booking for myself was a little excursion for when we go to Hubbard Glacier on this cruise. I missed it on the last cruise too, and I waited too long to get a ticket for it this round. It's where you get on a little boat off of the big boat, and you can get a whole lot closer to Hubbard Glacier. I did put myself on a wait list for it, so fingers crossed that I might be able to get to do that on this cruise. I thought it'd be really cool to get super, super close to one of those big glaciers from the water. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes and all that. But I am looking forward to it. We've got some fun things planned, different things planned than what I did on my first Alaska cruise, which is good because I get a lot more experience when, folks come to me asking questions as a travel agent. So that'll be good. Um, in Skagway, we're going to go on the White Pass Railroad. And then I have a super secret second outing planned for us that I have not shared with my friend B. So it's going to be a surprise for her. But we have a super long port day in Skagway. We're there till like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm like, why waste that day with only one little morning excursion? So we're going to do a second one, and I can't wait. Then when we're in Juneau, we opted to rent a car. And I am renting a car through Turo, which I've not done that before, but I've heard really good things about it. I know several other like travel vloggers that I watch have booked cars through Turo, so I'm going to try that out. We'll see how that goes, and we're going to just make our own day. I think we'll probably go to Mendenhall Glacier, and maybe Glacier Gardens, and we'll see what else we get into. So we've got the car for about 8 hours that day, so we'll see how that works out for us. And then when we go to Ketchikan, we're going to the Lumberjack Show, and we're going to make it to Creek Street. So I kind of was sad I didn't get to check out Creek Street this last time. I do think I'm going to miss out on the salmon again. I was there too early in May to see salmon, and I think I'm going to be there a little too late to see salmon. I might see dead salmon, but I'm not going to see the salmon that are like fighting to get upstream and catch can that kind of popular for people to see and all that. But I'm excited about this cruise. I'm excited to see how Holland does Alaska differently than Princess did. And I'm excited to get to do some things I didn't get to do then and all. So super excited. Just Alaska in general. If you are wanting to go to Alaska, you're already behind the 8 ball for 2027. So if you want to go in 2027, you need to book now, like immediately, like yesterday. You needed to start booking that stuff. Also, Alaska for 2028, that stuff has opened. So if someone out there is interested in Alaska for 2028 or 2027, hit me up. You can message me through like my Facebook page. You can message me on Instagram. You can send me an email and all, and I will see what I can do to help you out. We'll talk. We'll get more information, and then get you a quote to get you up to Alaska. There are some new players in Alaska this year. So this was an inaugural season for both MSC and Virgin Voyages in Alaska. I've seen and heard some pretty good things about Virgin up there. I'm kind of watching. I'm starting to see some stuff about MSC. I do really like both of those cruise lines. So we'll see how they're doing, what their programs and all that pan out to be. But anyway, um, we'll see. Sorry, I'm looking over here at the chat to see if there's anything over here and all that. It's kind of odd because when I look over here, there's a lag in Facebook versus what I'm looking at, not Facebook, on my YouTube on my PC versus what I'm seeing here in my phone because I'm doing my recording or the live actually on the phone. But anyway, so that's kind of Alaska. Um, looking for suggestions for Vancouver because I got to kill a bunch of time in Vancouver again. At the end of this cruise, had some totally was a mistake on my end, but I really goofed up with the excursion that I ended up doing when I got to Vancouver on that last cruise. It was good, but I really misunderstood the timing on it, and I had to like exit early from that excursion, and that particular operator for that. They were amazing in helping me get to the airport in time to catch my flight. It was close to being a disaster that day, but they were fabulous and all. Um, so anyway, I booked that through Viator, and it was totally on me. I read things wrong, but it all worked out in the end. I got to see some really cool stuff. So when I was there, I went to the Capilano Suspension Bridge, and I went to Grouse Mountain, and those were both pretty cool. I think I enjoyed the Suspension Bridge area a lot more than Grouse Mountain at all. But anyway, they were both very nice. So what other things might y'all do? We are considering doing like a hop on hop off bus situation that day. Operated through the cruise line, so the cruise line would handle all of our luggage, like take it to the airport, so that's all sitting there waiting on us. So we don't have to worry about where it's at or lugging anything around the city with us that day. So that's ideal. So we might do that. But there are some other things I'm kind of looking at again through like Viator. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my phone while I'm doing this. Um, so we'll see. Anybody been to Vancouver and have an amazing suggestion? An amazing lunch spot that I should go try out? Anything like that? And all, I am open to things. You know, it's really unfortunate the way they schedule flights out of there. You either have to fly out of Vancouver at the crack of dawn or super late at night, or you can fly in the middle of the day, but you're going to pay double for it. So that's annoying. And it actually worked out way cheaper for me this time to fly back to Anchorage after the cruise and then fly from Anchorage back home. So, um, anyway, just kind of, it was weird. I think maybe the next time I cruise Alaska, I might try going like round trip out of Seattle or something like that to see how that is, especially for booking and all. So I was throwing around like trying out a different line in Alaska next year. Not sure if I'll do it or not. I might take a little bit of a break, and all, especially since I'm going twice this year to Alaska. Um, but I was considering if I did, maybe doing more like a royal or a celebrity, maybe even MSC or something like that, just to get a little different perspective, something that's a little more family oriented, so I could just see how they differ. Because definitely Princess and Holland are there are children on those cruises. Don't get me wrong, but their youth programming is probably not as robust as it would be on like a Royal Caribbean or anything. But I do think probably Royal, that kind of stuff. Um, it's I don't know how destination focused they would be compared to Princess and Holland. I don't know. I guess it depends. Are you more interested in what they're doing on board as far as like programming, like naturalists and park rangers and talks and that kind of stuff, versus the kind of traditional like fun stuff that's happening on a cruise, like trivia and um, all that kind of stuff. You know, all the fun things. But anyway, I was kind of vaguely looking at what is it? Oh goodness. One of the royal ships. I already forgot. It's Quantum of the Sea. That was the one that I had looked at. But again, I don't know. I'm not ready to commit to anything yet for the beginning of the Alaska season just yet. And all, because one of the problems I have, because I am not a full time traveler. I wish I were. I am a full time nurse, and traveling from May through the beginning of September can be a little bit of a challenge and all. Because those are the times of year when I cannot request off well in advance. I can't request off until like January, February of next year for that particular time of year. So it's a little bit of a gamble sometimes if I book something for that time of year, because it's dependent, whether I get to go or not is dependent on what everybody else in my unit is doing. So I'm not gonna commit quite yet, or if I do commit to something, it's likely to have to be adjusted, and also we'll see how that goes. I was also thinking about next year um, doing a river cruise and all that. Y'all, sorry, my dog is in something. Dog, what are you tearing up? What are you tearing up right now? Finnegan, what is that? Y'all, my dogs, they are just causing me all kinds of trouble. You better leave that alone, dog. Excuse me, while I squirt my dog's water bottle. Quit. Eh. Stop it. I don't know what you're tearing up, but you better quit. Um, pardon my dogs. Eh. I will maybe have to, next time I go live, lock the animals up. So, anyway, we'll see. Well, what the heck, that dog? They're just crazy. But anyway, I was thinking about doing a river cruise next year. Um, there's all kinds of river cruise companies. Everybody always sees Viking, but you'd be amazed at how many other river cruise operators there actually are out there. Um, so there's of course Viking. There's Alma. There's Riviera. There's Riverside. There's um, Emerald, I think, and there's Uniworld and a whole bunch of others that operate in Europe. As a U.S. travel advisor, though, I only have access to like booking travel on certain ones and all. But I was super interested in the Riviera cruise lines because they have a solo traveler program that they have launched where they actually have ships that are only dedicated to solo travelers for certain sailings. So that without having like a super high supplement. So if anybody out there travels solo, you understand the solo supplement, and it is a rip off. These cruise lines will charge you so much more because you're trying to travel by yourself versus traveling with another person in your room with you. Um, but anyway, so there's that. So it's something that I'm thinking about. Honestly, it probably won't be Viking. Viking's final payment rules are kind of crazy. Like you have to be paid in full, like at least a year out from your cruise. So if I booked something now, like I would have to pay it in full, like right now, which I'm not going to do. So that Viking is probably off the table, but all those other like cruise lines are totally in play, possibly if I wanted to do that. Um, so that's just something else for next year. But what else do I have on the books for right now? I have well, not all kinds of stuff. I wish that I had all kinds of stuff and all. I would love to be a full-time traveler and an itinerant nurse. I don't think that will ever happen. Maybe when I retire, if I ever get to. But anyway, so what else do I have for this year? So I have a cruise in November that I am super, super excited about. If you follow my Facebook page, you've probably seen lots of advertisements on there for Explorer Journeys. So I am doing an Explorer cruise, and it is a Caribbean cruise. I do kind of prefer to do my Caribbean stuff in the cooler months and all. Um, so I think that might be kind of how I trend. Now I'm not going to say I won't do it in the summer. It just the Caribbean is hot, and it's especially hot during the summer. So I don't know. But so this Explorer Journeys cruise that I am super stoked about because it is um it's a newer brand. It is owned by MSC, who I like. And Explorer looks amazing. It gets like nothing but good reviews, so I'm super super excited. This particular cruise is 7 nights. It leaves from San Juan and ends in Miami, so it's a one way. And it's going to take me to a few places that I have not been, which it's becoming more of a challenge in the Caribbean to go to places that I have not seen yet and all. But this one does, and it actually goes to 3 different ports that I have not set foot in. So one of those is Tortola. One of them is Anguilla, and the other one is St. Bart's. And then there's a fourth one that's St. Kitts, and I've already been to St. Kitts once. But those 3 I have not seen before, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to going back to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is just beautiful. And I have loved the cruise that I had out of there. And when I've stopped there on cruises, I've really enjoyed my days in Puerto Rico. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's some amazing food there. So I'm kind of hoping to maybe be able to sneak in a food tour or even what I've seen, and I'm gonna have to do some research because I haven't looked into it. You can do the bioluminescence tours at nighttime, which would be really, really cool. So I'm flying in the day before the cruise, which is important. And I'll try to, whenever you're cruising, try to get there the day before. You never know what's going to happen with a flight, or if you're driving to a port, you don't know what's going to happen with traffic, or your transportation or anything. So give yourself some extra time. Now, saying that, I'm not going to say that I haven't flown in the day of a cruise a couple times. Okay, I will say when I've done that, I have only done it with a direct flight. I've not done it when I've had a layover at all. I don't trust the airline. If I have to lay over, then I am flying in the day before at least. Okay. If you're going to do Europe, you better fly in 2 days early because those airlines, they pull some crazy stuff. Okay. Now, the last time I flew to Europe, my first flight, or I shouldn't say my first flight, it was my second flight because I had to spend the night in Detroit. My flight into Europe out of Detroit was canceled. And all they kept delaying, kept delaying, kept delaying, and then it was canceled. And I had to go stay in a hotel in Detroit overnight, and then spend the whole next day sitting in the airport until the evening, waiting for my flight out. But anyway, so give yourself lots of time, especially if you're trying to, land tour Europe, or you know, or take a cruise. Just give yourself all the time in the world, and all. So I can't let January get by without having some fun because it's my birthday month, so I gotta have fun for birthday. So I actually just booked a cruise through Norwegian, and this will be the second time going on Norwegian. And I thought it'd be a while before I tried them again because last year January, or I guess it was this year January, I was on the Bliss out. Oh gosh, I just got a message from my friend that Finnegan's toy is drowning me out, and now he's barking. I'm telling you, he is a mess. I'm definitely going to have to do my lives without animals next time. But anyway, I don't know. What do you do? Or maybe I need a better microphone. Maybe if I tilt my microphone closer to me, but then you don't see me cut off the top of my head. That's okay. It'll be fine. Um, Anyway, yes. So I was not super thrilled with the onboard with Norwegian, and my brother just texted me. He's making it interesting. Funny. Um, so I was less than enthused about kind of how they operated on board and all. Like I went to great ports, like I had great excursions and all that. And I do think generally it was a good value for that cruise. But I'm like, it's going to be a little while before I try Norwegian again. Well, lo and behold, I got this fabulous TA rate. So I booked a little something for myself and all that is round trip from Galveston at the very end of January. And again, it goes to a few places that I have not seen. So I'm looking forward to that. The two places that I've not been that this one goes to are Honduras and Belize. So I plan on doing some snorkeling when I get there. If it was perfect world, I'd have my scuba certification and I would go scuba diving in Belize because there's an amazing reef down there. But I think I'll probably have to just be happy with scuba diving while I'm there. So I'm looking forward to that. And then there are two stops in Mexico. And it was like, I've been to Mexico so many times and all, Cozumel and Costa Maya. Although there's probably, I think maybe Costa Maya, there are some ruins, some Mayan ruins. I think I might go see Chacaban, I think is what it's called. Um, one of the first times I went to Mexico, I went to Chichen Itza, which was amazing. And also, I like history. I like old stuff. It's one of the things that I really, really like about Europe. Um, is all the history that's involved in those places. Here in the U.S., there's history. It's just not not the same kind of history as there is there. In Europe, in South America, Latin America, all that. So that's what's on the books there. And then I have one other thing um, that's booked for August of next year, and I've had this booked for a while. I already had to move it once because it didn't work out. Again, because I had it scheduled during summertime, and um, so I had to move it because somebody else got a week off. I don't want this last time, but anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. So it's tentative. Again, it's not going to be until like February of next year until I know if I'll actually be able to do it or not. But it is a European cruise, and I am super excited. I hope I get to do it. It leaves round trip out of Southampton, England, and goes to Norway. Um, and one of the reasons I'm excited about that is because I know someone that lives in England now. So I've got a point of contact there, so that makes me happy. Um, and hopefully, when I am there, maybe I'll get to see her and have lunch with her. So that would be lovely and amazing and all that. So that is the extent of my cruise and travel plans at the moment. There's all kinds of places I want to go. There aren't very many places I wouldn't go and all that. Um, you know, Being full time as a nurse makes it a challenge to really get the time off the way I want it sometimes in order to go see and do all the things that I want to do. At some point, I'll be retrying Royal Caribbean, and I did that one little short cruise with them back earlier. Was it this year? I already forget. Anyway, it was right when Royal Beach Club opened because I wanted to go see it while it was still pretty new and not very many people had been there. Um, and I was on Radiance of the Seas for that particular cruise, and I did not like that ship. I just really didn't like my experience on that ship at all very much. So I would like to try Royal again, and I would like to try a newer ship, um, a bigger ship that has more options for dining, for entertainment, um, and a longer itinerary. And I think that it will probably make a difference. Royal Caribbean has all these really nice new ships: Utopia and Icon, Legend, Star of the Seas, Hero of the Seas will be coming out. Um, but they are not solo traveler friendly for pricing. So I have not pulled the trigger on any of those. I would love to go on one of those. Hey, if anybody wants to go and you want to split a rate with me, hit me up. We'll go do it and all. But even for me as a solo traveler, even to just get into an inside cabin, it's hard for me to justify that on Royal Caribbean. And I'm talking that is like just the cabin. Like it's no extras. It's no soda package, no excursions, no internet. Like nothing extra. Just the room rate is exorbitant on those ships. Even I've looked at Utopia that just does those little short sailings, like 3 and 4 day ship, sailings. And I'm like, they're still outrageous. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I do want to go on MSC again sometime soon. They have the World America that's out. I think next year, World Atlantic will be coming to the U.S. and sailing out of, I think, Port Canaveral is where it's going to be home based. Um, so I would love to check out one of those two ships. Um, so we'll see what happens. Those are, MSC is very competitively priced. Um, as far as cruising goes. Um, their newer ships that they have are definitely becoming more geared to an American audience because originally it was a very European line, and there are still things that are very European about them, which I don't mind and all. I'm not necessarily on the ship for a lot of bells and whistles and everything, um, but they are definitely shifting, and their newer ships um, are definitely more oriented to an American consumer base and all. So I'd love to go on one of their newer ships. The one time that I sailed with them and got hooked on MSC and decided I loved them was on the Seascape. And it was very nice. It was a beautiful ship. It was a little quirky. The entertainment was a little bit different. It was a little out there, and I really liked it and all. And the food I thought was fine. I will say a little caveat to that. I cruised in the yacht club when I was with MSC on that one. So what I experienced is different from what you'd experience if you booked one of their other levels like Fantastica or Aria or anything like that. Um, but I would still love to go back on an MSC ship. I would probably, um, if I did, I'd probably do like the Aria experience just so I would have access to their little adult only um, space that are on the ships. Because sometimes I love children. I'm a pediatric nurse. I love to be around children, but sometimes I don't want to be around children. And I like to be on a ship that, where there are areas where you can kind of escape them if you would like to and all. Which is one of the things that Norwegian cruise that I have booked. I need to look. They've got um, an area on a lot of their ships called the Vibe Beach Club, which is adults only and all. So I need to look at probably sooner than later getting a pass for that because they sell out for those things and all. Um, Especially down on like a Caribbean cruise, it'll definitely sell out and all. So that's all my cruise plans I have right now. Um, Something I'm working on learning is video editing. I bought a book on how to use CapCut and all because I seriously need to start posting some videos of my cruising so I can get it all off my phone. Y'all, I have like combo between videos and photos, like 18,000 of those on my phone. I have slowly put some of that on an external drive and all, but I have so much more that I need to pull off. I actually saw on what you call it on Amazon an external drive that it's got a magnet and it magnetizes to your phone and automatically saves stuff from your phone to that drive. And I am seriously considering getting one of those and all so that I can just anything that is like content that I video on my cruise to just automatically move it directly over to that and then take it off my phone. Um, so I may really do that. Hush dogs, keep barking again. Sorry, folks. And now my cat is doing something in the kitchen. I just heard something crash in there. This house is ridiculous right now. Like these dogs are so wound up and crazy. Um, they're just everywhere. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. Um, I think I may need to get a good microphone for my YouTube lives. Or I probably just need to find a better space so that Finnegan and Juniper, those are my corgis, so that you don't hear them when I am on here. Um, and lock the cat up so she's not rummaging in things and knocking things over everywhere. Um, but so yeah, and I know my last cruise. Every time I went live, um, one of my aunts commented on every one of my lives that I was not able to be heard because of the wind. And I swear I was using microphones for most of that. So obviously I need better microphones. So I will have better microphones when I go to Alaska this time and all. So I've got them parked in my Amazon cart. I just need to actually pull the trigger and buy them. Some nice little DJI mics. So hopefully it'll work out a little bit better. But anyway, that's about all I got. Nobody popped into my chat, so but then again, I've only got 4 people watching me, so that's okay. I have it's a new little baby channel. It's gonna take a long time for me to become YouTube famous, huh? And all, but y'all gotta help me. I gotta get out of nursing and just be a full time traveler and YouTuber. That will never happen, probably. But anyway, y'all, I'm an itinerant travel agent, so hit me up for all things travel. My I love cruises. I love booking cruises and all, but I can book other things too. All inclusives. If you want some real specific uh, tour somewhere, I have all sorts of vendors that I can work with to put something together, for just about anywhere you would want to go. Now, the world is your oyster as long as you have the money to go see it. Right. But anyway, thank you for watching, all of y'all that tuned in, all four of you. And I think one of them is actually me from where I've got this on my PC as well. So maybe all three of you that are watching me and all that. But anyway, thanks. I'm gonna try to do some regular lives on YouTube. Um, I don't know how regular. They can't always be on a Monday. Sometimes I have to work on Monday nights. So we'll just see how it goes. There'll be a lot of playing it by ear. I'd like to at least do like twice a month and all. So we'll see, how it depends on my work schedule and all that. And I'll try to give way more warning than I did for this one. And maybe I get a few more people tuned in. But anyway, you just heard my dogs again. Um, and that's okay at all. They're just crazy. And next time I do a live, I'll know to go to a secure location with no animals wreaking havoc in my house. And all, although that's probably kind of hard to find and all that. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Um, and like I said, check out my Facebook or my Instagram. Any of that, you can email me. My email for all things travel is TraipsingTara travel@gmail.com. So check me out there. Anyway, thanks guys. See you later.